These are the 4 things I quit that made all the difference so I could get ripped. If you copy these, I genuinely believe that it's just a matter of time before you see results too. Let's talk about the first thing I quit. You know, when you're outside with your friends, it's very normal to eat in a restaurant, but the problem is, it's really hard to eat healthy because in restaurants, they don't try to make the healthiest low-calorie foods. They try to make the most tastiest, the foods with the most chemicals and sugar and calories. And when you're in the situations, you go into a dilemma. You either don't eat with your friends and disappoint everyone and mess up the social setting, or you cheat on your diet and binge it. So when you're in that dilemma, what do? Well, there's a solution to this, and that is, let's say y'all are going to eat in McDonald's. Instead of ordering Big Mac with fries and then a drink, this is what you do. You pick hamburgers with extra meat and no cheese, with no fries and then a Diet Coke. What you want to do is to look at the menu and see what foods has the lowest calories with the highest amount of protein. And then you're gonna pick those. Now with this game plan, you will still slow down your progress, but your goal is to minimize the damage as much as possible, because if you're in a social settings, you need to join the others and eat with them. Don't destroy your social settings just to lose weight. That's a recipe for failure. You still want to enjoy your time with your friends, so always look at the menu and pick the lowest calories with the highest amount of meat or protein. So now let's talk about the second thing I quit, and that is, there's probably a person you know that follows a diet that goes like this. From Monday to Saturday, they eat clean, they eat healthy, high amount of protein, no sugar. Then on Sunday, they binge eat, they eat all their calories back, they undo all of the progress they have made. Do you know why they do that? It's because when you follow a strict diet for 6 days straight, it builds friction in your mind. Here's my philosophy. The harder of a diet you have, the more friction you build up in your mind. And the only way to control that friction is through discipline. But the harder of a diet you have, the more friction you build up. And when you have too much friction, your discipline can't handle it. So what happens? On the 7th day, you tell yourself, I deserve a cheat day. I deserve to binge it. I have followed a diet for 6 days straight. So you eat all of your calories back and undo all of that progress. This is what I would do instead. Instead of having cheat days, I would have cheat meals. Our goal is to follow a diet that builds as little friction as possible, and the best way to do that is through having cheat meals throughout the week. When you go out with your friends, eat a hamburger with extra meat and no fries. 3 days later, if you have snacks at home, eat just a little bit. So you have cheat meals every 2-3 days. That's a lot easier than following a 6-day strict diet and then on the 7th day you go all in. I know for a fact you know a lot of people that have done that and they have failed. This is literally how I got ripped, is by having small cheat meals throughout the week. I genuinely think that that's one of the best advice I can give you to succeed on your fat loss journey. So far I've told you 2 things that I quit so I could lose weight. For the 3rd point, it's the hardest point of the video. The 4th point is easy, but now we're going to talk about the hardest thing I quit that was not easy. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Throughout the day, those demons come up. They tell you, eat this chocolate bar. It's very delicious. You deserve it. You're bored. You need some dopamine. So eat this chocolate right here. So you eat it. Half an hour goes by. You get more cravings. So you eat more chocolate. You eat more chips. You eat more sugar, more snacks. So what happens to you? Well, you go up in weight. So that's the 3rd thing I quit that was really hard. So in order to get lean, I had to stop eating snacks, because snacks is the easiest way to go on a calorie surplus. We don't want to do that. We want to be in a calorie deficit. And in order to stop eating snacks, you can't have any snacks at home. Your environment needs to be clean and healthy. You can't go to the supermarket hungry, because when you go through the aisles, you will see the chocolate area and you will buy some chocolate. So please, whenever you go to the supermarket, let your stomach be full. Now this thing is easier said than done. So here's a few things I did to stop craving sugar throughout the day. So the first thing, learn to do your own recipes. For example, instead of buying cheesecake, learn to do it at home, a healthier alternative. Use Greek yogurt, use protein powder, make it lower calories, more in protein. That will lower your cravings. The second thing you can do, whenever you go to the supermarket, instead of buying chocolate bars that are this big, buy the smaller portions. I realized that when I got ripped, you just need a little bit of sugar to control your cravings. The third thing you can do is when you crave sugar, instead of buying chocolate or chips, buy ice cream, because per 100 gram ice cream has lower calories than chocolate or chips or any other snacks. Now I know that the third thing I quit is not easy. Quitting snacks is probably the hardest part of having a diet. I genuinely believe that if you make these 3 changes that I told you about, you will succeed. Let's go over to the fourth thing I quit, and that is I quit drinking milk, Coke, Fanta, Sprite. I quit drinking my calories. Forget about milkshakes, forget about smoothies. I believe that drinking your calories is one of the most useless things you can do if you're in a diet. Now, let's talk about milk. Milk is healthy, I'm not denying it, but I'm trying to prioritize my calories. If you're on a fat loss journey, you're probably doing the same, and drinking milk has a lot of calories. There's no denying it. So I quit drinking my calories and I started to focus more on drinking water and Diet Coke. Diet Coke is not healthy, but I'm not trying to prioritize my health when I'm this lean. I'm only looking at the calories. I know it's not the healthiest, but I like to drink Diet Coke because it has 0 calories. Now you know the 4 things I quit. If you were to copy me, I truly believe that you will also be able to see results. But maybe you're already in a fat loss journey, you're seeing a lot of results, but you got another question for me. I'm losing fat everywhere except my stomach. Why does it take so long to lose belly fat? And for that question, watch this video, I explain everything over there.